Hey, this is Counter the Culture. I'm Melvin Middleton, and it's good to see you guys back. Our last show, we talked about God being unchangeable. Talked about the prodigal son a little bit, and not so much the prodigal son as the father in his reaction, in his unchanging love for the son. Today, we're going to talk about God being unshakable. First, let me say this, though, before we start. Just as a reminder, if you're watching us on Facebook right now, you can also get on YouTube and go to Counter the Culture, and then you'll be able to subscribe right there. Subscribing doesn't cost you a penny, and not one red penny. So subscribe and then hit the notification bell, and that's the whole purpose of asking you to do that, is so that you'll know when we have a new show out. And then you won't question, I wonder when the next one's coming out. So then you can check it out on your own. And we'd really appreciate that. Also, comment for us and let us know what you think about the show. Let us know if you think we need to have some format changes, stuff like that. We're still in the formation process of this show. You're going to see over the next 4 or 5 weeks that the show is going to be changing in the way that we do things. Maybe some more interesting things. Some more funny things, and we're excited to do that for you. We're glad you came back to see us again. Tonight we're going to talk about, or today, depending on where you're at, we're going to talk about God being unshakable. God is unshakable. We talked about him not changing before. Now we're talking about there's nothing that can shake him up. You know, little bad things happen in our lives and we get all shaken up and we don't know what we're going to do, and we're pulling our hair out and running here and there, you know, when things don't go exactly the way we planned them to go. Well, here's the great thing about God is things don't shake him up because he knows the end from the beginning. God is Alpha and Omega. He's the beginning and the end. Nothing is a mystery to him. He knows when things are going to happen and how we're going to react. And God also, he knows that that there is nothing that's temptation-wise or nothing that's going to happen in your life that he doesn't provide a way of escape. I believe that's 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13, says that there's nothing, no temptation has been given to you that's unique to you. It's been given to several people, lots of people, if not everyone. And that God always provides a way of escape. If there's temptation that you're dealing with in your life right now, that doesn't shake God up. Guess what? If you're walking in abject sin right now, if you are prostituting yourself, if you're doing drugs, if you're an alcoholic, if you're all these things and it's hidden and nobody knows about that stuff, God knows, and it doesn't shake him up. God doesn't stop loving you because you stop living for him. God will always love you. Remember last week? Unchangeable. God is unshakable. His love for you is unshakable. I think about this story in the Bible, and it's kind of I know that it'll work with what we're talking about right now. I believe it's in the book of Exodus, and it's where Moses had taken the children of Israel out into the wilderness, you know, and Moses kept saying to God, God, I want to see you. I want to see your face. I just want to see you. And God said, Moses, nobody can see me and live. No man can see my face and live. But God put him in the cleft of this rock. And what that means is like this small little cave. And whenever that happened, there was a great wind that came and blew over that thing. And God was not in the wind. He was not in the wind. And then there came a fire. And the fire raged over the front of that cave, but God was not in the fire. And then there came an earthquake that shook the earth, shook the ground, and God was not in the earthquake. But when he put his hand, God did, over that little cave, and God walked by that cave. When he took his hand off, Moses looked out and he saw the backside of God. He saw God's back. And that was as close as he got at that time to seeing the face of God. And God is unshakable in the sense that he commands all the elements of the earth, the wind, the fire, the water, everything. God commands those things. And so there's nothing that can shake him there. The weather, when there's hurricanes and there's typhoons and there's tornadoes and there's horrible weather, that doesn't shake God up. He knows all about that. And God isn't shaken up by the things that are going on in our lives. And the cool thing about God, you guys, is that he's always ready. He's always ready to receive us. He's always ready for us to change. And us, when we're shaking in our boots, when bad things are happening, to throw ourselves at God and allow him to be our solid ground. Allow him to be the unshakable part of our lives. You guys, there's a lot of things that shake us up. Physical illness, money problems, relationship problems. Trust me, we've all had those problems. All of us. And we can commiserate about it, or we can sit there and talk with each other and moan and groan about it, or we can trust in an unshakable God. And you guys, I believe this. I honestly believe this. When we throw our trust at him, when we hang our trust on God, that he will give us that solid foundation that'll keep us unshakable. Then when bad things in our lives happen, when relationship problems happen, when physical problems happen, they won't shake us up because we're relying on a God who's unshakable. I don't know about you, but I want to be unshakable. I want to be that for my kids, my 2 girls. I want to be that for them. I want to be an unshakable, solid rock for them. I want that to be part of my character. I want that to be part of who I am. And I want that for you too. I want people to be able to trust you and to believe that you're unshakable when it comes to your relationship with God. And you guys, this is really what it's about to be a Christian, is to throw our hope and our help on God, to rely on him in every area of our life. And because we can't trust ourselves, but we can trust him. Because we're human, we're flesh, and we give up sometimes. But the cool thing is God is always ready to receive us. And that's a good message for you to speak to yourself this week. God, I know you're ready to receive me just like I am. And then God does all the changing. He will change you. You just have to change your mind, and he'll change your heart. How's that sound? Well, you guys, I thank you for showing up again. Let me pray for you real quick before we go. Father, thank you for my friends and my family and my loved ones that show up week after week after week to just watch this show. Sometimes it's silly, sometimes it's not silly. But God, so that we can encourage each other, so that you can give me an encouraging word from them, for them, hopefully, every week. Now, God, I pray that you would bless them this week. Keep them, God. Help them to understand that you are unshakable and your love for them is unchangeable, it's unshakable, and God, as we're going to talk about next week, it's unstoppable. God, you're relentless. Your love for us is relentless, and we love you, Jesus, and we thank you for that. Amen. Hey, guys, don't forget, subscribe, notify, make a comment, let us know what you think, okay? And we'll see you next week, and we thank you guys for tuning in. Keep your eye peeled, because we'll be around, okay? And oh, by the way, just in case you didn't know, other than Jesus, I'm the best friend you ever had. You just don't know it yet.